I'm here. So
I'm Shea Gibbs-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Howdy, Oklahoma.
My name is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
Dead gum.
I'm Josh Giddey, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
Is that like you eat them together?
everybody tells me to get the bag of burgers.
I need like a straw. Like,
Howdy. I'm an artist on the court.
this is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
My name is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
It might be Aaron Wiggins.
This is a troll. It's a troll. I'm trolling. Howdy, partner.
Because I think it would take away from who he is, you know? Yeah.
I love Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma to death.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Perfect. Very good.
I like the hat.
You like the hat?
Vava.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk. I've been doing a lot of dunking. Good morning and welcome to episode 139 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down2dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I am Luke, joined this morning by Andrew.
Just to be here today. Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Slam throw.
Taylor. I stand alone inside. I stand alone. Everything. Slam through. And Jay.
It's Jay.
Do
Do you know?
I'm not sure I know that song.
Because it was the
Is that
song-
Godsmack?
Yes, it is
Haha,
Godsmack.
never mind.
And
I
it was
do
the
know that
song
song.
from
Yeah, you do.
Scorpion King.
Yeah.
The Scorpion King, which was the biggest when I was a kid and the Scorpion King came out. I was so excited because I thought in this movie The Rock is going to turn into that half scorpion
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
like he was in The Mummy. Never turned into the half scorpion guy. He was just normal Rock the whole movie, and I was like, "What
That was kind
that?
of the movie that sent Rock into the stratosphere.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was a prequel.
It
Right.
was a prequel, yes, but they should have at least like, oh my god, he's turning into the scorpion creature. He never does, never does, not once. I was so
Is the Scorpion
disappointed.
King a good character or a bad character? Like a
He
good
was
guy or a
bad
bad
in
guy?
the Mummy, but in the Scorpion King, he was good.
Yeah.
So something turned.
Just like the
Yeah.
Thunder were good earlier this week against the Pistons, but bad against the Pelicans. Or I guess they were good in the beginning
Yeah,
of the Pelicans game, but then
Yeah.
bad the rest of the way.
We call
wow.
that going full Scorpion King.
That's a full Scorpion
Yeah.
King. Golly, what a strange game. What an awful game, and also an awesome game at the same time. It's like a compliment sandwich. You know how like
Yeah.
something
Oh, yeah.
Give just for people on the pod, like give Luke a compliment sandwich.
Give you one.
Hey, Luke, I really love your energy.
Thank you. That feels good.
Sometimes you say things that are weird,
Oh, that doesn't feel as good.
but I still like you as my friend, and you're a great guy.
Okay, that felt good.
Compliment
See? Do you even
sandwich.
remember the hard one?
I do. It hurt a lot.
It sticks out a lot more than the compliment.
Well, I would say that the 22 offensive rebounds stick out a whole lot more
Yeah.
than the effort at the end and the beginning fun part of the game. It was a rough one. It was a rough one. The crowd, however, was amazing during that game. I could feel like the basketball, just like life come back to everybody in the building.
I
It was
heard you
really
trying
cool.
to get Chet to talk a little bit about it during the post game, and Chet just doesn't. You might as well stop asking him questions.
He's a
robot.
He's an interesting cat.
And then Shea was all down there. I text this to the podcast group earlier. Is you can tell that the expectations, even within the team themselves, this team always wanted to win, even when they were not very good, but they were more okay with the games that didn't turn out well for them.
Yeah.
They were bummed.
Yeah, they were really bummed after that one.
Losing that game on Wednesday night. They have a chance to rebound in a massive way tonight against Golden State, the first in-season tournament game.
Yeah.
New floor, group play, new unis.
New unis.
That's right.
Can't wait.
Here's the court again, which is currently on the floor in the Paycom Center.
Wow.
It is very
Wow.
blue. They really went for it. You guys up or down on the blue court?
I'm up on it.
Way up.
Here's why I'm
all
up.
the courts.
Here's why I'm up about it. It's just different.
Yeah, it's so different. It's kind of strange.
I
The
wonder if
NBA
it's gonna
never
be hard
does
to
something
watch.
This loud,
It's gonna be hard to watch. I wonder.
maybe, but it's gonna look kind of cool on the.
It's
TV.
gonna be like one of those things where you stare at it for so long, and then when you look away, you can still, when you close your eyes, you see it, but you see it in the opposite color. What is that?
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know what that's
called-
called when you can do that.
It's
But I know
definitely
what
called
you're talking about.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is not the group that would know the word for that.
No.
I don't know about that. Hey, let's play a quick game. Let's play Who Led the Thunder in Defensive Rebound Percentage Top 5 edition.
Okay.
Last season.
Okay.
Last season. Give me the top 5.
Jay Will.
Jay Will's number 1, 23.6 defensive rebound position. or
Okay. So Kenrich
percentage,
is
I
in
mean.
this too. Then
percentage. Huh?
Kenrich.
Kenrich was 9th.
Oh dang it!
You thought he was setting
I
us
thought he
up.
was doing a thing where
Yeah,
they
I got
really
you. I
need
knew what
Jay
you were
Will and
doing.
Kenrich.
Oh, they do
yeah.
need Jay Will and Kenrich, but
Are either one of them back?
Jay Will might be.
Giddy.
Giddy's number 2, 20.9%.
Shea?
Shea is 11th.
Dort.
Dort is
7th.
18th.
Whoa.
Dub?
J Dub is not in the top 5 either. Where is he? Yeah, he's not in the top 5. 12th.
Poku?
Poku is 7th.
Poto.
Baisley?
Darius Baisley, number 5. Very good. We're back. We're back
Oh.
in.
That's all the players, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm done with people that were on that roster last year.
How was Dort 18th? What do you mean?
Is Mike on that list?
Mike Muscala, number 4.
So we only need 3?
Number 3. Who's number 3? He's not on the team anymore.
Oh, what a hint. Dario
Oh.
Saric?
Dario Saric, number 3. So
Oh,
here
I was
were
thinking
their
about Kevin
best.
Durant.
Here were their best defensive rebounders last season. Jay Will, Josh Giddey, Dario Saric, Mike Muscala, Darius Baisley, Olivier Sarr are the top 6.
Wow.
So a lot of those guys are gone. And what was replaced, they replaced those guys with a lot of guards. And also we haven't seen, the only guys that we have seen that were in that top 6 this season is Olivier Sarr and Josh Giddey. And that's it. And Josh Giddey hadn't been great on the boards so far this season. So with that said, you add Chet, he's going to be a better defensive rebounder than even some of these guys. I just think it's interesting to take a look at.
Well, you saw in that Pelicans game, I feel like there was some timeout there in the second quarter when the Pelicans started turning it around and coming back, where they all just said, "What are we doing? We're all massive compared to these guys. Let's just do that."
Yeah.
Jonas, come back in the second half. I know you weren't great in the first half. Just be big, just be huge and get rebounds.
Yeah. They had no energy in the first half. The Pelicans
Yeah.
didn't. They shot the ball terribly. They got good shots. They had open shots that they were just missing. And then, yeah, they just played with very low energy. And then I felt like the Thunder just thought, we're just going to cruise. We're going to cruise on into this win. It's going to be easy. And like veteran teams know how to do that, but then turn it back on when they need to. It took this team a while to find the light switch. They couldn't figure it out until it was almost too late. And they almost did it. Like if that Giddey 3 goes down.
Oh, gosh. They had like 3 or 4 shots that
Yeah.
Like Shea's step backs aren't the best shot. That felt very much old Thunder.
Yeah, it did.
They also tried to, I think, and I don't know if you got any answers on this during post game, but the last play looked like it was drawn up for Chet to have an opportunity to shoot a three to tie it or go ahead or whatever it was at that point. And Larry Nance guarded him all the way out to the line, which in theory should open up some other options to get some buckets. But anyway, because you could tell Chet in particular was incredibly frustrated at himself after the game, you know, or at least when they sat down in that timeout where it was like, oh, they're down 4. Let's drop a play that's going to magically get us 4 points.
Yeah.
Which was a beautiful play, actually. That just got tipped, I think, by Herb or somebody. But I don't know. I think that this is so funny coming from me after my takes last week. But what I saw a lot in that game, especially in the real slog part of it, where New Orleans went to the zone and the Thunder just like, oh, we don't know how to play against this because our entire game is predicated on, you know, movement and getting the matchup that we want. And as I watched that, I actually saw it more of a, man, this team they will not have this kind of deflating moment the next time that they play the Pelicans. They're learning, like just remembering, because we've seen the highs of this team and the potential for this team is out of this world, but they're also still the second or third youngest team in the NBA.
Yeah, second.
And every time they lose and every time they win, they're going to learn another way to play. Like I could imagine the next time they play the Nuggets, it will not look as ugly as it did the last time. The next time they play the Pelicans or the next time they get a lead that's 22 points, like they're going to change the way they play along the rest of the season because it's still very early.
Yeah,
we do this every single year.
It's over.
What are we, 5 games into the season?
5 games.
Into your best players. This is Chet's, what was that, his 5th game?
His 5th NBA game ever.
5th NBA game ever, playing against Zion and Valanciunas, both super physical, have way more weight on him. I mean, I think Zion has 85 pounds on him or so. He's like 285.
Yeah.
And Valanciunas is a
huge.
monster. He's always been like that.
Those dudes are massive.
And J-Dub, it's only his 2nd year.
Yeah, but they still, the thing is about that is like, I didn't even know, especially in the 4th quarter, I didn't even notice Zion and Jonas.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
CJ McCollum was who killed
CJ.
them.
Yeah,
CJ got in the 4th was
CJ got hot, and that was
and he can do that. He did that for his whole entire career. It just, you were hoping between Kaysen and Lou that somebody could at least put a body on, but they did some good work on getting him in screen mismatch. There was a play, I think, where Chet didn't step up, but instead kind of tried to go underneath the screen. CJ stepped back, hit a 3. Like, it was a huge play down the stretch.
That's the thing with Jonas and Zion, too. If they're setting screens, it's just hard to get around that screen. Like, there's 1 3 CJ had. It felt like a full 2 seconds behind a screen where he could, like, line up his shot and nail it. Just because our players could not get around the screener.
Yep.
They were so big.
Yeah. The dad in me didn't want them to win the game after they had
have to learn.
Given up 22 offensive rebounds. And like some of that's personnel. Maybe like 12 is personnel based. And then the other 10 are they weren't in the game. Like they weren't physical enough. That it shouldn't have happened. And I think you learn your lesson more in the loss than you would like if that Giddey shot goes down, everybody's all happy. They probably go over it and film, but it's like, yeah, whatever, coach. Like we won the game. You know, you don't feel it as much. Like it doesn't sting, you know, that you gave up you gave up a massive lead. And then 2, a lot of it was like effort-based stuff that got the Pelicans back into the game because the Pelicans still didn't shoot the ball well. You know, they shot under 40% for the game.
Yeah,
and
Thunder shot. The Thunder bested them. They shot like
20% from 3, I think.
That's what also I'm starting to like looking at trends. And this is also something that kind of makes sense for a younger team. There's going to be inconsistencies, but you can directly correlate. And this is not an abnormal thing, but when the Thunder shoot well, like even league average, they're going to probably win that game.
Yeah. I mean, they were 43% from the field, 20% from 3. I mean, they were just like 2 threes away. And that's not even league average. Like that's still below. But it's I am not like totally upset that they lost that game because it's something that needs fixed. If they're going to play small, which they are, they can't. And I think that one like Jay will help them a lot, and then K Rich will help them a lot too. But you can't allow those these are our physical guys. These two, no, like it has to be Dub and Chet and Giddey. Like those guys have to be way more physical and like get into the game. And like I give a ton of credit to Chet. He was really good in that game.
Yeah.
19 points, 11 boards, 3 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. I thought he was phenomenal.
Is Shea out for the game tonight?
Shea's out. He hyperextended his left knee
Oh, ouch.
during the game. He was hobbling quite a bit
Yeah.
post game. He had a big old ice pack on his leg. He's really struggled to get up to the podium. And I was like,
Mommy, I need ice. That's what he said.
What
What
is
does GTD mean?
Good to do it.
good to do it.
Good to dunk.
good to dunk?
GTD.
'Cause that's what the ESPN injury report has Jay Will at GTD.
So in-game tournament.
Can
I
you
don't
explain
know.
this to us?
Game time decision.
Oh, so in-game
Good to dunk.
in
yeah, good to
season
dunk.
in-season tournament is gonna be I don't think the Thunder are gonna win it.
Luke.
Ah,
Well,
Wow,
Shea
man.
if Shea out, people out. I don't think it's gonna happen, guys.
Well, it's only one group play game.
Yeah. Also, I'm very confused because they're really pumping out the commercials for the in-season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say that it starts November 14th on the commercial that I saw the other day.
Who had that commercial?
ESPN.
Well, they wrong.
I know. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, who's that? Who's the actor that they have in the commercial?
There's a couple. There's a lot of different
Scorpion
commercials.
King.
I think it was the guy from Sopranos that I saw.
Wait,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
casino one?
Yeah, I've seen the
Yeah,
casino one.
Yeah.
It's real bad. Yeah, maybe who's broadcasting it tonight? Maybe that's the reason. They are.
They are?
They.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're wrong.
I don't know. I was
Starts-
so confused.
Starts
though.
tonight. Like I have like firm confirmation
Yeah, it definitely starts tonight.
that the blue court is there and ready to play on, and it's an in-season tournament.
Are you sure they're not
night.
just testing out the blue for the cameras?
I'm
tonight?
very sure.
Okay.
Someone in the chat said, "Shout out to all my colorblind friends tonight."
Just a gray blob.
Could be rough. Yeah, so well, that was your only question was about the.
Well,
when it
Luke said
starts.
he doesn't think the Thunder will win the in-season tournament.
Well, you never know. I mean, the last season, you just don't know. Like the NBA is weird. Like
I know.
teams can get hot and cold, and this group without Shea had some like really good games last year
yeah.
where they just shot the lights out, like against the Celtics. Like they shot like a jillion % from 3 and had all these. I mean, they were.
All right. I
Pretty
changed
awesome.
my mind. We're gonna win.
They also said in the commercial, I don't know what I watched. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what I watched because they said it's a single elimination tournament.
It eventually is after group play. There's the knockout rounds.
When do knockout rounds start?
That starts
December.
at the beginning of December, and then
Listen,
should
get
we-
your commercials
should we
together.
talk? Should we talk about this? Should we just talk about how it works?
Yeah, please.
Hey, also,
Yes.
side note, tonight, not on national television,
No.
just local broadcast.
Well, which means should we talk about Bally now? Let's not. Let's save it.
I just
Save
want me
it.
rage for a while.
Yeah, we're
I don't
going
even have the
to.
experience. I just will rage for my friends.
Let's save it for Miffed and Peeved because let's give it some real time. So there are groups. West Group C is the group that the Thunder in. We need to get some West Group C chants going.
Yeah, West Group C. West Group C.
It's gonna be great. So there are 6 groups, A, B, C, in the East and West, and the teams that have the best record after group play. Everybody's gonna play everybody. the team with the best record goes, and then there's 2 wild card teams that get chosen out of those 6 groups. So it's like whoever has the next best record. I don't know exactly how they're going to handle that.
Okay.
But then there's 2 wild card teams that get to go as well. And that begins the knockout rounds. So then those teams will play each other in the knockout rounds, which I think are played in Market, and then they go to Vegas for the semifinals and finals.
Okay.
Do you think the Sphere will be a basketball? I bet it will.
Definitely. Can't wait.
You know, it costs like $400,000 to have your image on that thing. Like once.
For 1 second.
Wow. That's awesome. It looks the Sphere's cool. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas for the
Really?
semifinals and finals.
Dang, dude.
I'm tired of this.
Who you got?
I know.
Where are we going?
Who you got?
Who I got?
Who you got?
I'd love to see the Thunder there.
That'd be fun. Okay, all of these
That
in
feels like a
season.
Clippers. That feels like a Clippers win.
Clippers.
Just because they're not going to be hurt at that point, probably.
Wow.
It's a bold take, huh?
That's a pretty bold take. I just don't. It's just hard to imagine the Clippers winning anything.
Yeah, I also have no opinion on who could win this. It's just like
I mean, Boston is like very much set up right now too. With like they're healthy and they've looked awesome so far. Dallas is undefeated. Dallas has looked really good early on in the season.
If the people that have to eventually play each other in this, is it a regular season game? It like counts towards a regular season.
All of them are regular season games, and until the finals, the final game
just an extra game.
is an extra game for those 2 teams.
okay.
Every other game is worked into the regular season record. And so the teams that don't end up going to the knockout rounds, they have games that will be scheduled that haven't been scheduled yet.
That was my question. This sounds like a nightmare for the people that have to schedule the regular
it sounds
season.
like it's really
Because they
hard.
take like it's really hard just to schedule a normal regular season.
It took a lot for them to get all of this together. They've done a really good job with it. I think it's going to be really fun, and it's kind of cool that it's like basically you have preseason and then just a few games before the in-season tournament games start, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah,
because it shows that like this time of year, all people are talking about is like, hey, wait for this sample size to ramp up enough for it to matter, and we don't really know who are the best teams or who's this, who's that. Like, no, it's like now we got to figure it out now.
Yeah, I was watching PTI yesterday, and Wilbon asked, what's his name, Tony, about some team, and it's like, Tony, what do you think about this? He goes, 82 game season, I don't care yet.
Yeah,
and that's all he said about it, and they moved on. I was like, okay, that is how basketball. It's what did Victor Wembanyama do, and then no opinions on these teams. And
he dressed as the Slender Man.
He did.
He did.
He was great.
He looked scary.
Oh,
very.
And by the way, I hope Chet was sitting at home watching Suns Spurs last night.
Can we talk?
I hope he was.
Can you hit Tayshaun?
Tayshaun's factoid bigger victory. Tayshaun's factoid bigger victory.
Hey, I'm Tayshaun. This is my victory. Victor Wembanyama last night. 38 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, something like that, 2 blocks. This is from Ben Golliver. He is the only other teenager. Okay, there are 3 teenagers who have had that line in their rookie year. Can you tell me who the other 2 are?
Shaq.
No.
LeBron.
They're both still
LeBron
playing.
James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. And?
It's some wild card, huh?
Josh Giddey.
Not a wild card.
Oh, okay.
No, not a wild card.
Makes perfect sense. He's playing right now.
Giannis?
He played last night.
He played last night.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
KD.
Wemby, the only other teenager, and he's really getting it together, and it's starting to scare me.
Yeah, he's good.
The Suns or the Spurs beat the Suns twice now in a row.
That should be so embarrassing for Phoenix.
So embarrassing, especially that first game, how they lost.
The first one was so bad. They should have been so embarrassed that I am like officially out on the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, that's
also
bad.
like everything that we said would happen to a top heavy team is happening to them.
Yeah.
you don't have room for injuries.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't start a Koji, Nurkic, and Grayson Allen and have a good team.
No,
Can't do it.
What is Kevin Durant thinking at the end of that
I
Mm.
game?
need to get another team.
Can't win with these cats.
Can't win with these cats. Where's Devin Booker? Why is Bradley Beal
Back
still
tonight, I
not
think.
playing?
Devin Booker's on my fantasy
Booker-
team.
Booker
It's
played.
really bad.
Booker.
No,
played.
I'm talking about the first game. Like at the end of that game when he gets the ball stolen and the Spurs win.
Yeah.
He's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What am I doing out here
Yeah.
with these people?
Well, Book played
Even
last
when
night.
Booker played last night, there's still times when it's like, okay, it's KD and Booker.
Yeah,
They
That's
should
it.
win.
Like
They should
what?
beat
What's
the
going
Spurs.
on?
they shot 50% from 3.
The Suns.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs shot really well too. I think Vassell was 3 of 3. Collins was 3 of 3 from 3. Wemby was 3 of 6, I think. 38 points. He was unbelievable last night.
Mm-hmm.
And in the fourth quarter. I saw another stat. It was comparing his, I think this was on the broadcast, comparing his first half stats to his second half stats.
Mm-hmm.
He like kicks it into gear in the second half. It's like we're watching him in real time figure out how to play basketball in the NBA, and it's happening so quickly. I'm concerned because I know that the thing was, especially with Chet, was like, oh, it's going to be Wemby versus Chet, and Chet has been amazing. All right, Chet's been really, really good, shooting very well. He looks like he's going to could be an all-star type player. Wemby is so quickly coming into his that idea that he's a generational, like the next LeBron James of the league, the next Michael Jordan of the league, whatever.
I don't like to hear that.
Dude, he's too freaking good, and he can do too many things.
Yeah, Wemby's really good. He had a really good game last night. He has been up and down. He has not been like that every single game.
No, but every game he's had those things where it's like, all right,
Yeah, he's definitely had a lot of flashes. That's for sure.
and he's a rookie. Again, for him, it's his 5th or 6th
he's-
game in the league.
Yeah, he's really good. He's super good.
And look how good the other Spurs look around him too. It's like even when he's not having the best game, Devin Vassell, my God,
Vassell's good. Vassell's been good. Like he's just like flat out.
no
like
one
an
just
NBA
knew
player.
it. He got that contract, and everyone's like, what's going on? And now because Wemby, everyone's able to watch them play
Mhm.
like the rest of the guys on the team.
Mhm.
They're good. I'm concerned.
Concerned about what?
I'm concerned about this. I had this idea, it's going to be Thunder Spurs for the next 5 years or whatever, 10 years. They just, they're pretty quickly coming up to our level, I think. It won't be this year, but I think next year it'll be like they're kind of on that thing.
I think you're making a jump that's not there. I mean, they need a
Wemby.
guard. Like who are
Go beyond Wemby. Who else? I mean,
Like
Vassell is the only other guy that you're like, oh yeah,
No,
I guess
Johnson.
Kelton Johnson, maybe.
Keldon Johnson is. I mean, I would be shocked if he was like
Malachi.
a winning
What's
player.
his name?
for
Malachi
them.
Branham.
Branham. Yeah, he's like whatever. He's
Well,
like
they're
a
trying
whatever
Sohan
player.
at PG.
I like
yeah,
Sohan.
I like Sohan a lot. I've been a Sohan guy for a long time. I think he's
Jeremy
Sohan.
Has blonde
He's
hair.
he's good. I like him too. But like, I don't know. They have a ways to go. They need a guard. They need like a legitimate guard. They have like Trey Jones is a nice player.
They should be bad again this year.
They have. I mean, they have been bad mostly.
Yeah, they're
This
3-2, but I'm saying like they should intentionally get back into the bottom 5.
Yeah.
I think one more year. Now the Spurs are a team that could they draw somebody to play alongside Vic? Like, yeah, probably. But
I don't.
I just
don't-
go one more year.
I don't know.
Okay.
They need a guard.
It's gonna
Thank
be hard
you.
to be worse than the Grizz this year, though.
Yeah, that they're so interesting because they had a few years where they drafted pretty well, like in the late first round and in the second round. They let a lot of those guys go. They let a lot of their role players go.
Well, one's a sexual criminal.
That's true.
Are we talking about San Antonio or Memphis?
Memphis.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess they're both teams. San Antonio.
I
also
thought you were
has
talking
sexual
about Derrick
criminal.
Rose.
Well, Derrick Rose, yeah, the veteran sexual criminal.
But
Been one for a while.
yeah, it's they let a lot of their like guys go, like Kyle Andersons of the world and the Anthony Meltons and all these guys. And they thought we can just draft and bring these guys back. Like we could have these guys, but cheaper. Like none of them have really worked out yet for them. And then when their guys are out, they've been good in the past, but like Tyus Jones isn't there anymore. Like there's no like real point guard for them, which is like one of the biggest problems that they've had. And then they just have no depth at all. And they've been depleted of that some with injuries, but then also they're playing Zaire Williams a lot and he super stinks. So it's they've got some big problems in Memphis. There's a lot going on there. And then plus you have like all the Josh stuff that is very negative for them. And also Triple J. I also wonder, thinking about like Jaren Jackson's been really bad. And Shea hasn't not been great so far this season. I wonder just about FIBA and how that's affecting some of these guys. Because they gave a lot. Shea gave a lot in FIBA.
Shea did. JJJ, not that good in FIBA play.
He was terrible in FIBA, and it's carried over.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, Brunson hasn't been great. You know, there's been a lot of those guys who have kind of struggled. Like, a lot of times you get, like, this FIBA bump for some of these guys. But it feels like a lot of them
More
now.
like the FIBA slump.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a FIBA slump
I
a
think
little
that
bit.
is a decent excuse because you do have not just the fact that it was a tournament that only ended, 2 months ago at the end of August, the beginning of September. Isn't that right?
That's very close to the season starting.
Yeah, it's close enough to not. But it was also across the world. Like they were over on the Pacific Rim, you know. And so I don't know. That is not a bad excuse. That's why I wonder. You know, it's easy to make these jumps, but it's like, is that part of Shea's energy level? Is that part of his knee issue? Is just, hey, maybe he does need a break, you know, for a few games. I just hope it's.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out because he hadn't looked awesome, and obviously he didn't at the end of the game just because he's hyperextended his knee. But
Ouch.
Just interesting. Like Halliburton's been really good. Obviously, hasn't really affected him. I don't know.
They're all so young too. It's like, really, how much would it affect them?
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Probably personal stuff too. The mental game matters, boy. That's okay. What I said doesn't matter. Mental does not matter, actually.
Yo, guys, you want to give some quick advice?
Yo, guys.
It comes from listener Paul. And this is an old question, but I think we can still help him because he's going to do other things like this. He says, I'm taking my 14-month-old twins to the Thunder preseason game in Tulsa. Is there anything we need to bring or do? Thanks for the advice.
My God.
My advice, not the babies.
Yeah. Do not bring them.
Okay. Did you have advice?
No.
You're about to say something.
No, it's just a little late.
I know, but he could take them to other games. Let's say he's taking them to the Spurs game.
I guarantee he already learned that. advice.
Headphones for the babies.
Headphones.
A babysitter. Not the babies. That sounds like that. That sounds.
There's a lot of people that bring babies to games.
But this is two babies. They're twins.
And it's just Paul with two babies.
Wait,
no one else.
Twins is two babies?
Twins. Two babies.
What are you doing there?
Double barrel shotgun. Two babies holding them. You can't get a Pepsi. Can't get a hot dog. No hands.
No.
It sounds miserable to me.
Yeah.
And the babies can't appreciate the game.
Hey, isn't there a kids night, a kids Thunder night? Usually, like one game where specifically it's for kids and
I have
stuff.
a blue game that's like that.
Oh, because I think I lied to my 3-year-old because she's been watching the Thunder games with me and she's like, I want to go. Are those your friends? She thinks when I go play pickup that I'm playing with
With those
the Thunder.
guys?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So I'm well
Can you
that I'm
imagine
lying
how
about.
bad that would be.
I know she thinks I'm really good, so I'm gonna keep that up. She's like, those are your friends? Yeah. So now when there's any other basketball game on, she asks, do you know are those your friends? No, they're in a different city. But the Thunder, they're all my friends. And I play with them. But she said, I want to go. I said, I'll take you to kids night. And I keep telling her. And now she's like talking about kids night.
Yeah,
Yeah, blue game.
yeah, it's the blue game.
Okay, I'll just take her to the blue game.
She won't know. Just like the babies.
Yeah, it will be a mess.
I'm pretty excited. So I'm going tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, my son was slightly getting into the NBA last year.
Yeah.
We went to a few games. He is real into the NBA now.
Nice.
He
That's
won't,
awesome.
but it's, and I think I mentioned this on the pod before, and so I apologize, but the way that a lot of younger people are getting into the NBA is not through actually watching games, but by watching YouTube and watching other people talk about the league and talking about games and watching highlights and reels and stuff like that. And so I'm interested to see how engaged he gets.
Like he's like watching like the actual game.
Yeah. And especially the fact that to be able to see Steph Curry and, like that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's maybe the most popular NBA player right now, right?
Yeah, I mean he's probably it's crazy. Are you guys gonna go watch his warm up? Like get there like
We're going to get there as soon as we can.
Yeah.
So we're going to spin class, my wife and I.
Spin me right round, baby, right round. And it's ready.
Okay, so that's
wife.
that's at 4:30, and
You'll spin my wife right round.
we'll probably be, I don't know, we'll get there as soon as we can. So anyway, if you don't have any other options, obviously bring your babies. It's fine because it depends also on how old your babies are. If your babies
Yeah.
are baby
14
babies,
months.
that's old enough to be moving around and having expectations.
Not
running away.
necessarily.
I
don't
mean,
know
no, it's
that.
gonna be hard, is what I meant.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
There's a
it's-
point where
it's
they're
tough.
just sitting in
You gotta have the
cribs
dual.
or
You gotta have the dual papoose.
no.
These
at
are
14 months,
these are 14
Yeah.
months. This is a 1-year-old.
buddy.
kids.
14 months. You can put them in that, but they're jumping out.
You gotta
Yeah.
running all over
You
the
gotta get
place.
them tight.
Yeah,
Just background music to spin me
How
around.
old's your youngest?
Oh, about 15 months.
Yeah.
How would she do trying to get her just to sit still somewhere?
No way, Jose. Not
Strap-
happening.
Strap her in that papoose, baby.
Yeah.
yeah. You
You spin me right round, baby, my wife.
Oh, that's gonna be that all day.
Oh boy. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We're gonna answer some Twitter questions. Yeah, we're back after that quick break. Now it's time for some.
Jimmy.
Jimmy,
It's
Now it's time for some
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
No, it's time for some.
Jimmy.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
Jimmy.
All right, our first Twitter question comes from @real Brianna XO, who wants to know: is Chet being used to his full potential?
I think it's a good and worthwhile question because I think ultimately the answer is like so far no, because I mean there was a game where he took only 5 shots
Mm-hmm.
and that was against Detroit and they won the game, so you're not going to sit there and complain, and Chet's not complaining either. But I think it speaks to the fact that there's a process that they're all trying to figure out. Like how do we best use him? I think that's a question that they are asking themselves right now. It's like what ways can we get him more involved in the offense? What ways can he help us more defensively? I think that they're figuring that out. And so it's a good question to ask, but we also need to like be aware that they're still figuring it out. And so I do think that they need to find ways, and they did this a little bit more against the Pelicans, but find ways for him to score around the rim a little bit more because he's really good at it. and they have guards that can get him into different actions that get him open shots at the rim. And we've seen that a little bit more recently, but they got to find ways to continue to get him involved. So right now he's taking the 4th most shots on the team, which is not totally surprising, but he's only taking on average 1 more shot than Lou Dort. And Lou has been awesome. Like, that is no criticism of Lou at all. He's only taken 8 shots a game, the least of his career. Lou has been like the perfect Lou Dort for this team. Lou is not a problem at all for them. But Chet, they do need to figure out, because he's shooting like 60% from the field, like 50% from 3. Like, they need to find ways to include him a lot more than just 9 shots per game over 5 games.
Yeah, and I don't know what that would look like. I mean, you should see that tonight in theory.
Yes. I mean, Shea's taking 20 shots per game, which is about what he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
They have to redistribute those 20 shots. They're not all going to go to J-Dub or Giddey or Chet. Like, they're going to have to figure out, where do these possessions go? So I'll be really interested to see how they play tonight. I feel like it could be a little bit more free-flowing without Shea, because Shea is such a singular talent that you're willing to stop things sometimes just to let him get going. And I don't know that anybody else is really that way. And so it'll be interesting to see how they play. They're going to miss Shea for sure, but I'm very intrigued to see what the game flow looks like and how they do get Chet more shots. I mean, Chet and J-Dub should both take like 18 shots tonight.
Right.
Who's your guess on who replaces Shea in the starting lineup?
It's probably either Kaysen Wallace or Isaiah Joe would be my guess. It might go to Isaiah Joe, but I'd love for it to be Kaysen. I think Kaysen's been so good.
Yep.
And he's had he's taken 3 shots per game. You know, he could.
Is he still making all of them?
He's down to 81%.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Rookie.
What a bust.
Rookie wall.
He's shooting 80, 80, 100 are his shooting splits right now through his first 5 games.
Seems sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to. Obviously, you wish that you could see the team at their fullest tonight against, one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the West at this point. But at the same time, it is going to be fun to see other guys have that chance to take more shots. And I think Chet's going to come out. I don't know. You've seen this multiple times, is after they have a game where they feel frustrated with their performance, they're going to come out the next game and just really respond.
Yeah.
And how do they respond against a team that is going to be really good? Obviously, the Warriors are a unique way of playing. Like, it's going to be Chet and Looney. Probably Dre is going to be guarding Chet some. Like, that's what I'm also intrigued about. And then, not to mention Giddey. Who's Giddey going to be guarded by? Is it going to be Clay or Wiggins, I guess, or is Jada? Like, that's what's fun for me. And I know it's not. They just chase them around, but Giddey's been really good whenever he can get a smaller guy on him, kind of exploiting that matchup. But I don't know. I don't know if Chet is being used to his full potential, but I also want to just continue to remind all of us that he's played 5 NBA games.
Yeah.
And so we'll find out what his potential is, but he's been fantastic.
He's been really
outside
good.
of the Chicago game. There's not one complaint.
He's been amazing. He was amazing against the Pelicans. Like, he's doing his job. He's been better than Wemby this season. He didn't hit the high that Wemby hit last night, but he also hasn't had the opportunity to do that. Wemby took like 25 shots in that game.
What's happening tonight?
He has a lot more space to kind of play around with whatever's going on with the Spurs. But Chet can do some of the same stuff. He's been better defensively than Wemby has. He's just been better overall. But, I hope that Chet watched that game last night. I hope that he sat at home and watched that.
I have a feeling he did.
Chet fuel.
I think Chet is more bought into the Chet versus Wemby thing than we are.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some Chet fuel.
Chet is number 2 in the league in blocks per game and overall blocks.
Yeah. He's only really had one good game.
Yeah, he
with
had 7
blocks.
and 4
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Or 2 games in a row. And then I think he had 2 against the
Yeah.
Pelicans maybe, but
Mhm.
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, good. Our next Twitter question deals with comes from at 405 fan, who says they found an article by Anthony Slater from back in 2013 about Steven Adams just starting to get comfortable guarding bigs in the NBA in his second year. This is Chet's 5th game. It's probably going to take a little while for that part of his game. What do you think about Giddey's fit? The swerve at the end.
It's a pretty intense swerve. Yeah, I mean, we just need to remind ourselves that this iteration of the team and Chet have only had 5 games. And I feel like people are already like sending me like fake trades and like, how can we change the complete dynamic of this team with a trade?
Feelings are back,
It's
baby.
like,
The
man.
crazy is back.
I also think that we need to, I know we've done it before, but we need to explain Bertan's contract and why he doesn't play all the time.
Well, if he doesn't play, if he plays less than 70% of the games, he has a very small guarantee on his deal the following year. So, I mean, there's like a few things with Bertans. Like, one, he doesn't defend. 2, he doesn't do anything but shoot. Like, that's all he does. Like, that's it. Is shoot.
I think because there's
and
like,
then also his contract too. Like he was never going to play more than 70% of the games. That was never going to happen. I mean, he may not play 40% of the games this year.
I just feel like there's people that are mad because he's paid so much.
And they also
those
watch
people-
him shoot and they're like, yeah, it's awesome.
And those people
There
that
are
are
definitely moments that I think if the contract wasn't the way it was, there are definitely moments I think they would have thrown him out there to say, hey, we need spacing or we need somebody that can just knock down a shot. Like whenever New Orleans goes to a zone, like Bertans makes sense to go out there and try to shoot them out of some of that.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily contract related. When you lack physicality, when you're getting killed on the boards, I feel like you can throw
It's not
Isaiah.
Bert's time.
You can throw Isaiah Joe out there.
Yeah.
But like that was not a Bertans game. Like throwing him out there against this Pelicans team
I'm just
that
saying
is
you need
killing you.
scoring, man, for a
And-
while too.
So I want to say this about Bert. I was at the Detroit game and I was sitting close, so I was able to actually watch everyone and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Bertans being bad on defense and boards is not for a lack of trying. He's trying really hard. I mean, he's moving down there on the defensive end. He is just not the right person.
Slight of figure.
He's so narrow. He has
Yeah.
no lateral movement at all. He's not physical at all. All he has to give is his shooting, and it's not for a lack of trying. So I just want to say that. Good job, Bertans. Keep trying.
And I mean, Dallas theoretically is like a great team for him to play next to Luka as this like big shooter. Like they just didn't hardly play him. I mean, he played 45 games last season, the season before 22 games. I mean, they just don't. He's an end of the bench shooter in the league, and it's because he has even said like that he was put on this earth to shoot, and that's it.
Yeah, baby. That's how
Love
you
it. Let it rip.
And so
know yourself.
He'll have some moments, but he's not going to be somebody that they play a lot. I mean, they think. I mean, a lot of these guys need to get reps as shooters, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Would you rather have Kaysen playing?
Yeah.
Not that that's apples to apples. I understand, but
They play him at power forward basically at times, and
positionless basketball.
he's tiny, but he plays a way more physical brand of basketball.
Mhm.
And like if you were to bet on somebody getting a rebound, way more Kaysen than Bertans. And Bertans is fun. Like he's
Seems
cool.
like a nice guy.
cool player.
Yeah. Hey, our next
Seems like a nice guy.
Twitter question comes from at Bryce Dick, who wants to know, can we get a Jimmy for John Hollinger awarding Josh Giddey the title of Slob Wizard?
Jimmy,
There you go, John. Yeah, John Hollinger doing great things for the Thunder. Predicting a bad record, which means they'll have a good record.
Mhm.
Slob Wizard. Shout out to Hollinger.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a question.
No, I've got a question for Andrew.
Okay, you go first.
So at Shay_media asked the question, takeaways from the J-Dub on the Old Man and 3 podcast. So I didn't get to listen to it or watch it. 2 or 3 highlights. What are the things that you thought were the most significant pieces from that? Because it's gotten enough burn in the social media world where I feel like it probably had some value.
Yeah, I mean
to the Thunder fans.
nothing incredibly like surprising. We've heard the story before about how he didn't know who Mark Daignault was in draft workouts. Like that was a kind of a fun story, but we've heard that one before. But yeah, he said that Mark was like yelling at him and like basically like trying to get him going during a workout, and J-Dub like said I was talking trash to this guy. He's like, he didn't know who he was. So he's like talking trash back to this guy who's just like in this workout. And then he sat down in like the meeting with the Thunder, and Mark walks in and he's like, oh no, like this is over for me. Because he just had no clue that Mark was the head coach.
Mark probably loved that.
Yeah.
Because he's psycho.
He's great. Mark is great. He talked about just how close the team is, that they do like a lot of team dinners, that they hang out a lot. It definitely feels like the first iteration of the Thunder, in that there's not a lot of nightlife here in Oklahoma. And so they honestly just spend a lot of time together.
LAN parties.
So
a lot of Halo 3.
Oh, LAN.
LAN.
I thought you said land. I was like, what does that
LAN
mean?
parties that go out and just find a field.
I mean, people do that.
They do that. That's what nightlife is in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was gonna say nightlife is land
Go to
parties.
the Plateau, man.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist anymore. But
yeah.
Come on.
Anyways, yeah, he was good. I mean, predictably, he was really good on the pod, and he's fun. But like, no, there was nothing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he said this.
Yeah.
Or
JJ's a great host too.
Yeah, JJ's good.
Dude, he's one of the best basketball media guys in the realm.
Hey,
Andrew,
Andrew's
that's not
right
Andrew.
here,
That's not Andrew. That's not Andrew.
Wow.
Okay, I got one more question, and I'm gonna let you go to our last
Okay.
one. Okay, this next one's from at JB Edwards. I drove through Oklahoma. It's 2 S's at the end. You know, just gotta enunciate. I drove through Oklahoma and stopped at Love's for gas and ate dinner at Brahms. Did you have a bag of burgers? Is the question. But
eat the whole bag.
The question he actually asks is, "Am I Oklahoma?
You're on your way.
On your way?
Yeah, you are.
That's pretty good.
What else does he have to do?
Oh man,
Gotta get milk and ice cream.
Chug milk
from Brahms.
Gallon challenge.
I'm trying to think. What else do you have to do?
I think he's done it.
I think that's it.
Actually, yeah, you're Oklahoma.
You just have to be. You just have to like spend a night watching tornado weather.
That's
when
true.
it's coming
that's
through.
good.
That's
Yeah.
true. And
Yeah.
and
If you're not spending an entire evening watching multiple channels weather coverage, that's like the final moment where we can anoint you as Oklahoma.
Yep, we've got rotation.
Hey, babe, do we need to go get in the closet right now? No, it looks like it's going to go about a quarter mile southeast
look at
of
that
us
hook
right
echo.
here.
wow, it's barely gonna hit us. Let's go out to the porch.
Yeah. Guys, are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
So at Trust the Void asked this: can you please do a miffed and peeved on behalf of all Thunder fans dealing with Bally Sports?
It's an absolute disaster.
It's so ridiculous.
What's happening with Bally Sports? We know that financially they're struggling. It's not the employee's fault. But boy,
But I'm going to tell an employee tonight how bad their company sucks.
it's so
You got a
bad.
Bally shirt on tonight, you just brace yourself, buddy.
Yeah,
Watch out. You're getting it.
it's really bad.
So
And
basically what happened, and you have to correct me on this because I don't know. I've been
Mhm.
watching it through DirecTV stream.
Mhm.
But if you bought the app, or
Mhm.
you're paying for the monthly, it
$20 a
it
month.
just didn't work.
It hasn't worked twice now. Luckily, it was on national TV Wednesday, but there was a tweet sent out last night that it was not working. I mean, this is bad. This is not just a Thunder problem. This is an NBA problem that they have in lots of different markets. But the fact that this team is so hard to watch is detrimental to the franchise.
Yeah.
In the league.
and the league as a whole, they need to be able to. You need to be able to watch your local team whenever you want. You need to be able to just flip it on. Like, hey, the Thunder are playing tonight. Let's flip it on and grab a pizza. Great. You can't even do that. One, you have to pay $20 a month to be able to do it. 20. It's a huge ripoff. The product isn't that good.
No, but they know they have you.
What's your option?
That's the problem, is that they need to have an option, because right now, the NBA and the Thunder are losing fans, losing opportunities to have more fans because you can't watch the team. The Denver Nuggets, for years, because their local TV deal was so bad, did not have the number of fans that they could have had for a championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder are heading down that same road unless they choose something different. They need to choose to partner with News 5 or
OETA.
News 9 or put them right after Arthur. Whatever you need to do.
Honestly, PBS would be the best at that.
It would be great.
As long as you get broadcasters that are like PBS people.
Yeah.
It's like really like monotone.
You just have Oscar the Grouch
unenthusiastic,
calling
or
calling
that.
the
Like
game.
there's two options. It has to be that.
Who
No,
wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that?
So do you know enough of the details to tell me how would that happen? Like, do they just have to break their contract? I feel like Bally is already in breach of their responsibility.
They should be. If you're the Thunder, you should say, "Hey, we'll give you one of those nights. We're sorry that you had a bad night." But the second time that it happens, that's inexcusable.
No.
What is the job of Bally Sports? To broadcast the game to the people. That's the job. The camera just went off. Will you go hit the start stop button? We got to figure that out. The job of Bally Sports is to make sure that people can watch the game. You just took a photo. hit the start stop button.
We're trying to figure out how to get better video quality for the live stream.
It says start stop on the button. There it goes.
We're back.
We're back.
So that was actually like a live example of what Bally is doing.
Bally just did that. Okay.
We're a podcast.
Bally, why are you taking photos of us?
Bally just did that.
It's really bad, and it's hindering the enthusiasm around this team. I think it's directly, pardon me. I think it's directly why the enthusiasm around this team is not matched what it did in the first iteration.
Yeah.
It's because people don't know.
Well, there's got to be behind the scenes stuff going on. Like, I think the NBA cares a lot about
there's
this.
no way they don't.
There's no way they're not trying to figure this out.
They care so much about I don't buy that though. I don't buy that.
You don't think so? Why?
I think the NBA cares about their national TV deal. That is like the big cash cow for the league itself. These local deals aren't as big of a deal, and they need to be, because they're losing fans actively right
now. That's how you gain NBA fans too, though, is through local markets.
But the NBA hasn't cared enough for years. They wouldn't have let these deals happen
if they cared.
But that's one of the biggest problems.
Yes, but Bally started because Disney and ESPN purchased Fox Sports.
Yeah.
But the local broadcasts, the Fox Sports Southwest and Oklahoma and all those different things, they couldn't be part of the deal because of antitrust issues, monopoly issues. And so what happened is they had to sell them off. And basically the only bidder out there was Bally, who's, I don't even know what they do outside of being the worst broadcasting team.
I don't know either.
Or collection of.
I thought they were a casino.
They are. There's something like that, like sports betting and all of that stuff, which is already like, it's like, where's the DraftKings television network? But so for me, it's like, this was not something they negotiated with Bally. It's something they're stuck with Bally. And what they need to do is take this moment and say, we can't do this.
Every team just needs to take hold of their own broadcasts and make a local deal with somebody.
Do you not think that Channel 5 would love to have
and then have like a national, international like app that you can pay like $9.99 a month for, or whatever you need to do, and then locally make it free. Give it to people so that anybody can watch the games. because I think that they're losing a lot of older fans because like you have to intentionally you can't just casually watch a Thunder game. You either have to go to the game and pay a lot of money, or you have to pay a lot of money to watch it on an app. And there are a lot of people that aren't willing to do those things. But there are a lot of people that would love to watch the Thunder.
It's true.
And so if you don't live in another, like if you live in another state, you can get League Pass where it's not blacked out. Where it's not as expensive as Bally is to get League Pass. So you might as well You might as well do that. Or you can get whatever, like the Thunder should offer like an app of their own and like basically create the Thunder broadcast channel. Like you could fill that with content that people would eat up all the time. And the Thunder have enough people working for them that they could create this content. Like they could put, like they have, Paris Lawson and Nick Gallo have a podcast. You could put that on their deal. Like you could do a lot of things that people would like. It wouldn't be that hard to do. And it would help create more Thunder fans. Because like ultimately, what do we want? Like, what do they want? They want more people to be fans, more people to come to the games. I think all of that would help. But the fact that you can't watch the team is just an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Put us on. We'd make a 30-minute show.
Oh my gosh. Give us the pregame or postgame.
Yeah, that would be great.
Boom.
While we're just throwing things out into the universe, let's do it.
We just need the rights to that Spin Me Right Round song. It's gonna be expensive.
That's our only negotiation.
You spin me right round, baby, my wife.
Actually, I think if we just sing My Wife the whole time, we don't have to have the rights because that song doesn't exist.
My wife, my wife, my wife, my wife.
They're like, guys, I know you have a podcast and some people know your jokes, but you can't keep hitting the Jimmy button. No one knows what that means. Oh,
Jimmy.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. Anyways, it's a disaster.
Ban Bally.
They probably have to sue him, right?
I don't know.
To get out of
They
it.
probably have to negotiate some sort of exit.
Yeah, it's an absolute disaster. But
they're not the only, like Utah's done this.
I was gonna say
has done this.
This is not just a Thunder problem. This is an NBA problem. This is like Adam Silver needs to solve this problem. This is a problem that he needs to care about.
He's not going to.
And the fact that he doesn't care is really bad. So I don't really know what's going to change because he's asked about it. He'll do pressers and he'll be asked about it, and he gives just the most non-answers ever. So it's frustrating because it's hurtful to the NBA overall, and I don't understand what the deal is. But I do think that if teams would just take hold and basically create their own like content creation networks. Like Memphis kind of has that.
Which ultimately should be a better moneymaker for them anyway.
Yeah, Memphis has Grind City Media. Like they have like radio station, they have TV, they have all these different things that they do. And I think like all the teams should do that and have their own like TV broadcasts that are just like Thunder TV, basically. Like turn on Thunder TV. It's the local channel. It's the you can watch it online. You can watch it on YouTube. You can do all these things with it. So to me, that's where a lot of teams are heading down that road. And I think that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know which way the Thunder are going to go.
And the Thunder already know how to do it. The preseason games are on their app.
Yeah.
You stream it.
Yeah.
They already know how to do all the broadcast stuff.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
They could do it. Teams, rise up. Take control of your product.
My guess is that Bally will get their stuff together enough to finish out the rest of this season, and then we'll see what happens.
I don't even understand how is streaming down? What do you mean it's just not working?
They have one guy doing IT that just like also
he has
a real job.
Yeah. Oh, he has COVID.
Yeah, he must have COVID or strep.
Oh, he's just got another job. This is his side hustle where he's like, crap, I forgot tonight I got to stream an NBA team and make sure that the whole thing works correctly.
That's insane.
Just a disaster. But yeah, get it together, Bally Sports. Get it together, Bally Sports. All right. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. If you're in Oklahoma City, go to the game tonight. Steph Curry.
It's the only way you can watch it.
It's the only way you can watch the game. It's if you go to the game. Go see the blue courts, the new jerseys. You guys like the new jerseys?
I don't mind them. I feel anytime I would support one of the jerseys, I feel like I'm just setting myself up for people to hate me and disagree with me.
I like them.
This jersey. People are like, that jersey sucks.
Yeah,
So-
I like them.
I didn't know that Nike got together a group of like Oklahoma City artists and influencers or
Yeah.
whatever to like.
Came up with, huh?
Including our
Yeah.
our buddy Dusty Gilpin, who actually created the Down to Dunk logo.
He did.
DG?
DG.
DG.
That's what they call him.
That's what everybody calls him.
I've
DG.
never heard anyone call him that.
Not once.
No. Dusty G. All right. Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you need anything, call me.